Good Wednesday. Good Wednesday and happy Wednesday.
Good Wednesday and happy Wednesday.
Good noon Eastern time. Noon 20.
So today we were inspired to read a chapter of a book.
Hold on. First, Boogie has something to say. Turn there.
Don't like camera, I already know that.
I know you don't like camera, but you have something to say, so you have to tell them there. Okay. Embarrassed
about it. Not good
well,
in front of camera.
Boogie told me earlier what he wanted to tell you, so I'll share it.
You will like it.
He said, thank you all beautiful people for loving one another. And that's all. Because the world needs more love. So that's what he wanted to share, but he got embarrassed. Anyways, hello. And today is Whatever Wednesday, which means we talk about whatever we want, which is really pretty much every day. But it's a W and a W, so
Tiffany is speaking in Boogie language back.
Yeah, I love you, Boogie. Okay, so you know what? There's a book that we absolutely love. And we think that, we believe strongly, every person should read this book at least one time, maybe once a year. I don't know, listen to it on audio and have some good reminders. And we've also made a recommendation for it. Okay, hey, okay, enough. We've also made a recommendation for it in our list of recommended books somewhere on the main Facebook group that we have, Aaron and Sari. If you're not part of it, some of you are watching from it right now. And this book is called The 4 Agreements. And today we've been inspired to read one of the agreements. It's a quick read. You can see, small book. It's a very entertaining read. Once you get past the first part that you may or may not understand, keep going. But agreement number 2. Agreement number 2 in chapter 3. That's why I got confused. Is something that will automatically make you a happier person. When you understand that you think the world revolves around you, and I think the world revolves around me, and Sari thinks the world revolves around her, and your significant other thinks the world revolves around them, and really the world revolves around Callie. So we're all wrong. But when you realize that everything we say or do is a reflection of us, our idea of life, what our experiences have been, and not necessarily an attack on us from and whatever we receive from other people doing things that affect us or saying things to us is a direct reflection of them and their worldview and their life experience and what they are going through. We become automatically happier realizing that agreement number 2, don't take anything personally. Now, you may have watched Espresso before and felt like we were talking right to you. There are many people that watch this show, and so what would make one person believe we're saying something directly to them?
Maybe we're good at connecting with you.
No, it's what you're experiencing in your life currently and how you resonate with what we're talking about.
Did you lower the air?
Yeah.
I can feel it.
Is it nicer in here? It's not as cold?
And I feel like I need a jacket.
No, I did not do any. I didn't make it colder. Okay, so today we're going to read this chapter because if you've already read this book, you will be happy that somebody's reading it to you.
I feel, I want to add too, I feel like if the entire world were to not just to read this book, but to actually apply this one thing every single day, the world will be a much nicer place with everything that's going on in this day and age. Just this one thing.
So this is great because if you have read it, it will be a great reminder, and I'm sure that you'll be excited to hear it because you already know the value of this book. And if you haven't, I encourage you to stick around because it's going to make you want to read the rest of the book. It's really tremendous. Starting on page 47 with the second agreement. Don't take anything personally. This is story time with Aaron and Sarit and Callie. The next three agreements are really born from the first agreement. The first agreement is be impeccable with your word. The second agreement is don't take anything personally. Whatever happens around you, don't take it personally. Using an earlier example, if I see you on the street and I say, hey, you are so stupid, without knowing you, it's not about you. It's about me. If you take it personally, then perhaps you believe you are stupid. Maybe you think to yourself, how does he know? Is he I don't know what that word is. Can everybody know and see how stupid I am? You take it personally because you agree with whatever was said. As soon as you agree, the poison goes through you and you are trapped in the dream of hell. What causes you to be trapped is what we call personal importance. Personal importance, or taking things personally, is the maximum expression of selfishness because we make the assumption that everything is about me. During the period of our education or our domestication, we learn to take everything personally. We think we are responsible for everything. Me, always me. Nothing other people do is because of you. It is because of themselves. All people live in their own dream, in their own mind. They are in a completely different world from the one we live in. When we take something personally, we make the assumption that they know what is in our world, and we try to impose our world on their world. Even when a situation seems so personal, even if others insult you directly, it has nothing to do with you. What they say, what they do, and the opinions they give are according to the agreements they have in their own minds.
Mm.
Their point of view comes from all the programming they received during domestication. If someone gives you an opinion and says, hey, you look fat, don't take it personally, because the truth is that this person is dealing with his or her own feelings, beliefs, and opinions. That person tried to send poison to you, and if you take it personally, then you take that poison and it becomes yours. Taking things personally makes you easy prey for these predators, the black magicians. They can hook you easily with one little opinion and feed you whatever poison they want, and because you take it personally, you eat it up. You eat all their emotional garbage, and now it becomes your garbage. Because if you don't take it personally, you are immune in the middle of hell. Immunity to poison in the middle of hell is the gift of this agreement. When you take things personally, then you feel offended, and your reaction is to defend your beliefs and create conflicts. You make something big out of something so little because you have the need to be right and make everybody else wrong. You also try hard to be right by giving them your own opinions. In the same way, whatever you feel and do is just a projection of your own personal dream, a reflection of your own agreements. What you say, what you do, and the opinions you have are according to the agreements you have made. And these opinions have nothing to do with me.
I'm sorry.
Coffee break. Coffee break. You get it? Because she's coughing. Okay. It's not important to me what you think about me, and I don't take what you think personally. I don't take it personally when people say, Miguel, you are the best. I also don't take it personally when they say, Miguel, you are the worst. I know that when you are happy, you will tell me, Miguel, you are such an angel. But when you are mad at me, you will say, oh, Miguel, you are such a devil. You are so disgusting. How can you say these things? Either way, it does not affect me because I know what I am. I don't have the need to be accepted. I don't have the need to have someone tell me, Miguel, you're doing good, or how dare you do that? No, I don't take it personally. Whatever you think, whatever you feel, I know is your problem and not my problem. It is the way you see the world. It is nothing personal because you are dealing with yourself, not me. Others are going to have their own opinion according to their belief system, so nothing they think about me is really about me, but it is about them. You may even tell me, Miguel, what you are saying is hurting me. But it is not what I'm saying that is hurting you. It is that you have wounds that I have touched by what I have said.
Ooh.
I underlined that shit. You are hurting yourself. There is no way that I can take this personally. Not because I don't believe in you or don't trust you, but because I know that you see the world with different eyes, with your eyes. You create an entire picture or movie in your mind, and in that picture, you are the director, you are the producer, you are the main actor or actress. Everyone else is secondary actor or actress. It is your movie. The way you see that movie is according to the agreements you have made with life. Your point of view is something personal to you. It is no one's truth but yours. Then, if you get mad at me, I know you are dealing with yourself. I am the excuse for you to get mad. And you get mad because you are afraid because you are dealing with fear. If you are not afraid, there is no way you will get mad at me. If you are not afraid, there is no way you will hate me. If you are not afraid, there is no way you will be jealous or sad. This next part, I put a little box around it, so it must be important. If you live without fear, if you love, there is no place for any of these emotions. If you don't feel any of these emotions, it is logical that you will feel good. When you feel good, everything around you is good. When everything around you is great, everything makes you happy. You are loving everything that is around you because you are loving yourself. Because you like the way you are. Because you are content with you. Because you are happy with your life. You are happy with the movie that you are producing. Happy with your agreements with life. You are at peace and you are happy. You live in that state of bliss where everything is so wonderful and everything is so beautiful. In that state of bliss, you are making love all the time with everything that you perceive. Whatever people do, feel, think, or say, don't take it personally. If they tell you how wonderful you are, they're not saying that just because of you. You know you are wonderful. It is not necessary to believe other people who tell you you are wonderful. Don't take anything personally. Even if someone got a gun and shot you in the head, it was nothing personal. Even at the extreme. Even the opinions you have about yourself are not necessarily true. Therefore, you don't need to take whatever you hear in your own mind personally. The mind has the ability to talk to itself, but it also has the ability to hear information that is available from other realms. Sometimes you hear a voice in your mind and you may wonder where it came from. This voice may have come from another reality in which there are living beings very similar to the human mind. The Toltecs called these beings allies. In Europe, Africa, and India, they call them gods. Our mind also exists in the level of gods. Our mind also lives in a reality that can perceive that reality. The mind sees with the eyes and perceives this waking reality. But the mind also sees and perceives without eyes, although the reason is hardly aware of this perception. The mind lives in more than one dimension. There may be times when you have ideas that don't originate in your mind, but you are perceiving them with your mind. You have the right to believe or not believe these voices, and the right not to take what they say personally. We have a choice whether or not to believe the voices we hear within our own minds, just as we have a choice of what to believe and agree within the dream of the planet. The mind can also talk and listen to itself. The mind is divided as your body is divided. Just as you can say, I have one hand, and I can shake the other hand and feel the other hand, the mind can talk to itself. Part of the mind is speaking and the other part is listening. It is a big problem when 1,000 parts of the mind are all speaking at the same time. This is called mitote? Mitote? I'm not sure.
It's probably from his Toltec thing.
It can be compared to a huge marketplace where thousands of people are talking and bantering at the same time. Each one has different thoughts and feelings. Each one has a different point of view. The programming of the mind, all of those agreements we have made are not necessarily compatible with each other. Every agreement is like a separate living being, and it has its own personality and its own voice. There are conflicting agreements that go against the other agreements, and on until it becomes a war in the mind. It is the reason humans hardly know what they want, how they want it, or when they want it. They don't agree with themselves because there are parts of the mind that want one thing and parts of the mind that want exactly the opposite. My mind's telling me no, but my body's telling me yeah. You know what I mean? I don't see nothing wrong. Okay. Some part of the mind has objections to certain thoughts. Only by making an inventory of our agreements will we uncover the conflicts of the mind and eventually make order out of the. Humans are addicted to suffering at different levels and to different degrees, and we support each other in maintaining these addictions. Humans agree to help each other suffer. If you have the need to be abused, you will find it easy to be abused by others. Likewise, if you are with people who need to suffer, something in you makes you abuse them. It is as if they have a note on their back that says, please kick me. They are asking for justification for their suffering. Their addiction to suffering is nothing but an agreement that is reinforced every day. Wherever you go, you will find people lying to you. And as your awareness grows, you will notice that you also lie to yourself. Do not expect people to tell the truth because they also lie to themselves. You have to trust yourself and choose to believe or not believe what someone says to you. When you really see other people personally, when we can never be hurt by what they say or do, even if others lie to you, it's okay. They are lying to you because they are afraid. They are afraid you will discover that they are not perfect. It's painful to take that social mask off. If others say one thing but do another, you are lying to yourself if you don't listen to their actions. But if you are truthful with yourself, you will save yourself a lot of emotional pain. Telling yourself the truth about it may hurt, but you don't need to be attached to the pain. Healing is on the way, and it's just a matter of time before things will be better for you. If someone is not treating you with love and respect, it is a gift if they walk away from you. If that person doesn't walk away, you will surely endure many years of suffering with him or her. Walking away may hurt for a while, but your heart will eventually heal. Then you can choose what you really want. you will find that you don't need to trust others as much as you need to trust yourself to make the right choices. When you make it a strong habit not to take anything personally, you avoid many upsets in your life. Your anger, jealousy, and envy will disappear, and even your sadness will simply disappear if you don't take things personally. If you can make the second agreement a habit, you will find that nothing can put you back into hell. There's a huge amount of freedom that comes when you take nothing personally. You become immune to black magicians, and no spell can affect you, regardless of how strong it may be. The whole world can gossip about you, and if you don't take it personally, you are immune. Someone can intentionally send emotional poison, and if you don't take it personally, you will not eat it. When you don't take the emotional poison, it becomes even worse to the sender, but not in you. You can see how important this agreement is. Taking nothing personally helps you break many habits and routines that trap you in the dream of hell and cause needless suffering. Just by practicing the second agreement, you begin to break dozens of teeny tiny agreements that cause you to suffer. And if you practice the first two agreements, you will break 75% of the teeny tiny agreements that will keep you trapped in hell. Write this agreement on paper and put it on your refrigerator to remind you all the time. Don't take anything personally. If you make a habit of not taking anything personally, you won't need to place your trust in what others say or do. You will only need to trust yourself to make responsible choices. You are never responsible for the actions of others. You are only responsible for you. When you truly understand this and refuse to take things personally, you can hardly be hurt by the careless comments or actions of others. If you keep this agreement, you can travel around the world with your heart completely open and no one can hurt you. You can say, I love you without fear of being ridiculed or rejected. You can ask for what you need. You can say yes or you can say no, whatever you choose, without guilt or self-judgment. You can choose to follow your heart always. Then you can be in the middle of hell and still experience inner peace and happiness. You can stay in your state of bliss, and hell will not affect you at all. This is a great reminder, and I want to know what you guys have to say. I want to know your thoughts. I see you guys are like commenting and things, but I would love to know your thoughts. And just for me, as a reminder, the more out in public you are, the more vulnerable you make yourself, the more you put yourself out there, the more you share your beliefs and your thoughts and your worldviews, the more vulnerable you are to criticism from other people. This is something that we deal with regularly. And the more people we want to help, the more we will deal with it. And it's extra important because you know what? The world, like the people who align with you, hear your message, and they gravitate towards you. Sarit and I are going to repel some people, and we're going to pull some people in. But there are people who will criticize or say mean things to you because they feel personally attacked. They've taken something personal. There are people who are literally just out to the crab in a bucket. Misery loves company. They've got so much conflict, I read, going on in their minds that they're out to just attack. Happens on social media all the time. Oh, did you put a girl's head on a man's body? You can't like, they have a worldview and you have a worldview. And it's okay to not agree on it. But that just means that we're probably not in alignment enough to hang out with one another. And that's okay because you can go find your people and I'm going to go find my people. Are you a good person? The last agreement is do your best. Did you do your best? Are you helping people? Are you a good person? Are you honest? Do you have integrity? Are you doing your best? That's where you know you. And nothing that anybody else says can actually harm you. It might sting for a second, like a rubber band, like you're like, oh. But at the end of the day, it's like, man, do you know you? Do you know you well enough to have confidence that whatever somebody says, you don't need the reinforcement. Oh, you're amazing. You're so awesome. I love reading great reviews about us. It's amazing because it's proof that we are doing what we want to do. It's proof that we're accomplishing our mission. But even that, I can't let it just make me think I'm so great. I have to just know me. You have to just know you. No matter good or bad. I remember Gary Vee one time, I did not understand what he was talking about. He's like, I don't hear you. I don't hear you. I don't hear you. I don't hear you. And I thought he was just being mean. I don't hear any of you. I don't hear you if you're saying I'm amazing. I don't hear you if you say I'm a piece of shit. I don't hear you because I have a mission. And I am accomplishing mission. I know I'm a good person. I know that I'm helping people. I know that I'm doing the right thing. I know I have integrity. I know that I mean well. I know that I have great intentions. I know that I'm making a difference in the world. I know me. I don't need your validation and I don't need your criticism. I don't hear it. And I didn't understand what that meant until I read this chapter. I was like, why wouldn't you want people to tell you how awesome you are? I didn't understand that. Okay, you all been listening to me for a very long time.
No, this was great. Emotional poison. It's a real thing. When you were reading this, I was thinking about the concept of taking responsibility versus taking it personally.
Ooh, yeah.
There's a difference. Something that's really important to know is to acknowledge that, and I would say that takes an extreme amount of self-awareness. Most people just take things personally. When poison's being thrown at them, it's like, oh, I'm gonna get a dose of that. Protect yourself from the poison, but take responsibility to stay curious and see, okay, well, if that person called me fat, do they have all of the information to say that? And could it be true? And if so, like, what is my own belief system about it? And, is that something that's either in line with my values or against my values? And make a calculated decision from there. So that is one thing that I was thinking about, and just wanted to share the concept of taking responsibility versus taking it personally. We live in a world where most people take things personally. And here's the interesting thing about people who take things personally is that they're very quick to share their poison with others. It's almost like they can't keep it because the poison is so bad. It's like they want to spew it to other things.
It's spewing.
Yeah. And that's why it's really important to, really like have filters for what you hear, what you see, who you hang out around with, just like what we talk about with regards to food. You got to set filters and boundaries, because otherwise, like, if you're surrounding yourself with poison all day, every day, your likelihood of just ingesting it is going to be a lot greater.
I love one of the things that really stood out is it's true if you believe it. You're offended by it if you believe it.
Mm-hmm. It's true.
Because it's your worldview, and you're like, how do you know? And how dare you say that to me? How dare you do that? If you believe it to be true. There have been people who, they'll either hear something out of context, or that we say that they'll hear something out of context, or they'll mistake our pursuit to get people enrolled in certain programs because we know it's going to help them, as all we care about is the money. And, that's been something that's at first that was very difficult for me to hear because I know that it's not true. So it's very difficult to hear because, for one, I analyze, is that what people think? And what am I doing to make them think that? But at the end of the day, people have their view of money, their worldview of money, their own ideas of what money means. And it might not be the same as mine. And so what that comment or the thing that's said is a reflection of some way that they view money, or they view a persistence, and they view something in a way that I view it differently. When I go to bed at night, I'm okay with that comment. I hear it because if we want to serve people, it's important we listen. So I hear it, but I can't take it personally. Because at the end of the day, my head goes onto my pillow. It's actually very much softer than that. And I'm okay with me because I know me. But that thing stood out to me where it's like, if somebody calls you fat, was the one thing, like, you're mad and you take it personally if you agree with it. Everything you agree with can be taken personally. So the question is then, Boogie is running in his dream. He's doing that with his. Anyways, yeah. So it's such a good reminder. I want everybody to be happy. I really do. If the world had more, if each individual person in the world had more inner peace and knew how to love themselves better, we would be so much kinder to one another. And we wouldn't take things personally, and we would just have so much more peace. And that's really like our mission is to transform the lives of millions through the same movement, nutrition, and lifestyle habits that have transformed ours. I'll tell you, my personal mission in life is to get whoever I can to get out of their own way to live their best life, their happiest, most peaceful life. To get out of your own way, to see what is in front of you and what is blocking you and what is holding you back from being courageous and stepping in to learn new things and get outside your comfort zone and learn about who you really are and embrace who you really are. That is what fuels me, and making people laugh. By the way, if you haven't seen my latest reels, you should really go take a look. Just saying. Because they'll make you laugh. And when you laugh in that moment, it is impossible for you to be upset or angry or sad or stressed or mad. It's impossible. That's why I like making people laugh. This book helped me decide to say I love you to David, even though I knew he was not ready to say it back, but I knew it was not about me. And the saying I love you to him is about me.
Love that.
Yeah.
It's a great book. I want to leave you guys with some room for thought.
I want to read this.
Okay.
This is important. Nina said, some of these ideas do not apply to childhood trauma. However, a person who has childhood trauma in the past can use these ideas for their current relationships. You are not responsible for how you were brought up, but you are responsible for how you continue your life.
Yes.
You are not responsible. When you are dependent, you're called dependent because you're dependent. You rely on other people for basic needs. And as long as you are dependent, you are not as responsible. But as soon as you have an understanding that you are responsible for you. It's not your fault. What's the saying? It's not your fault if you're born poor, but it's your fault if you die poor. It's not your fault if you're born blank, but the rest of it is. So it's our responsibility as a functioning adult in a place where you have choices to make the choices. You're the creator. Okay. Go.
Yeah, so I want to leave you guys with some room for thought. Hold on. I need to understand this word.
When Sarit can't read her own writing.
Oh, yeah. Got it. Question number 1. When was the last time you were criticized? Go back to the last time you were criticized. And then when was the last time that you took it personally when you were criticized?
Mm.
And if so, why? Why did you take it personally? Whenever you're being criticized, it's always important to, have a reminder like, hey, most criticisms out there, if not all, are merely a reflection of what the sender is viewing. And it is up to you to choose to receive it or not. Okay, so this will just be a good exercise to help you internalize, like, okay, where am I at in the taking things personally spectrum? Do I take things personally all the time? Do I take things less personally than I used to before? Do I not take anything personally whatsoever? My wish for you guys is that you take responsibility for your life and your actions and do not take anything personally, because that is when you can truly feel fulfilled. We cannot control how other people respond to the world. And if that is your focus, then man, like, I don't know what to tell you. But if you can control how you take action each and every day and how you respond to life, then guess what? You're going to keep on reaching. And you're going to feel a lot more present and fulfilled in the process.
Just generally happier.
Yeah. And the interesting thing is that most people who take things personally do not know what it's like to be present. Like, it's like they don't know to control their mouth because they don't know to control their thoughts. So it's just like spewing.
It's like autopilot.
Yeah, like spewing complaints out. Okay.
Ooh, this is a great reminder for all of us.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's any person who is fully, like, doesn't take any one single thing ever personally, at least for a second, until you can come to the realization that, like, okay, it's not about me. That's not about me. And you know what? Whether it's right or wrong, it makes you feel better if you do it. So anyways, that's today's espresso episode. Thanks everybody for joining us.
We hope that you found value in today's conversation. Hey, check this out. You know our mission. We're on a mission to transform the lives of millions through the same movement, nutrition, lifestyle, and financial habits that have transformed ours. Okay. We are here to help whoever is ready, willing, and wants to be helped, not the ones who've got their blindfolds on. If you know anybody who is receptive and will find value in today's message, you already know what to do.
In case they don't know what to do, what do they
All
do?
that we ask is that you pay it forward.
Sharing is caring.
Sharing is caring. Okay. All right, you guys. That being said, we will see you guys tomorrow, Thursday, at noon.
Thanks for joining us for story time.
We hope that you have an amazing day and a winning Wednesday.
Bye. Be great.
Bye.
Be happy.